So our preparation for the Titans, it was really pretty simple. We just, I think we're pretty much just playing the same stuff as the week before. So we just try to refine like I guess which like the meta, and we just worked on a lot of the fundamental stuff. It's really all we did, more than anything. We didn't try to do any like specific strategy stuff for them. Pretty much figured they were gonna play meta too, so we were just expecting like a meta matchup.
Against the Titans, I think we just try to play our normal game plan. I don't think we had to do too much special, simply just because Titans isn't maybe as a top tier team as like somebody like Florida Mayhem or like the San Francisco Shock. So we just kind of played it basic.
영웅 밴이 없을 때에는 그냥 일단 저희 팀이 제일 잘하는 거를 먼저 하고 그의 팀 색깔에 맞는 영웅을 정하고 나서 그걸 계속 꾸준하게 연습을.
Yeah, I guess the main difference between practice for hero pools and hero bans is mainly taking into account, you know, what is nerfed and what is buffed, so that we know kind of what to play for that week. I mean, there's a lot of similarities between hero pools and then also in the tournament format where there's no hero pools. But the biggest thing is kind of figuring out what meta to run during the week, no matter what, and seeing what works best for us.
Really, the preparation has been generally the same. Like overall, like you're still trying to figure out like your preparation for hero pools versus non-hero pools is like the same. You just generally just trying to find your specific comp or comps that you just want to practice and work on. It seems to be a little bit easier sometimes when there's no hero pools because everything's available. Really, it's generally the same. You have more time and more experience on no hero bans because I see like these like kind of bigger patches come less often than the hero like ban. So normally it's a little bit easier to prepare for no bans at all.
They're just going to try and take him down early.
Tire from Shockwave. It's got to get a kill. It's got to get something to try and turn this fight around. 6 HP on the Tire. Shockwave's trying to keep it alive, but it gets shot down by Massa. Booped him away. Ursa, in the meanwhile, was in the back line. The Mine is going to be taking down Shockwave, and it will be another team fight win here for the Atlanta Reign. Just need to clean up 1 or 2 players that are just stalling out this point because it did get flipped over to the Vancouver Titans, but not for much longer. Pulling them onto the ledge. Saucy will get obliterated as well. He tries to step foot on the point, but the damage is far too much. And Dalton, he can just hold down last one. You can see, as long as that beam keeps going, ramps up in damage. Still, Ursa turned it around. He did get the kill onto Dalton. Hawk follows up. The Amp Matrix helping him get that kill onto Karkar. The Atlanta Reign have not given up this fight, and they're trading out pretty evenly. KSA falls next. And now, shield committed. It feels like the Vancouver Titans are pumping resources into this fight, but the longer it goes on, the less it looks winnable for them. Corner, they already knew he was going to be trying to stall it out on the side here, but Boops okay, Boops traded out. Massa ends up taking a bit of a drink there with the holographic fishies. Shredlock's going to be roaming around. Vancouver Titans desperately trying to stay into this point here, but Rov's being pressured in the back line. Hawk running him down with the Hyperspheres once again. KSA, one of the last remaining players. Shredlock again trapped up on the point. The overtime will burn. It will but not be enough for them to stay into this fight. Shredlock, okay, or Shockwave, not going to be making it onto the point. And
so as a tank player, I can adjust my like playstyle or like my pacing or just a few different other things. Maybe like your calm, some things metas you might calm a little bit more, a little bit less. But a lot of it just depends on just like acknowledging like what your objective is with your comp versus what the comp you're playing against. So you just have to make sure you're aware and your team's on the same page of what you're trying to like, what your just overall like play style is going to be into like either mirror or some other comp. So long as you're on the same page, you'll be fine.
저는 일단은 메인 DPS에 일단 맞춰가고 있고, 그리고 소시는 뭐 메인 DPS나 서브 DPS나 둘 다 가능한 친구인데 그래도 겐지가 더 잘하는 것 같아서 저희끼리 이렇게 맞춰서 하는 것 같습니다.
For Nubani, I suppose as a support, it just changes my positioning, especially on first point. First point on Nubani is pretty different. For both attack and defense. You kind of have to play in specific spots, but then besides that, for second and third, you kind of play like a regular game of Overwatch, where you just push the payload and take fights around corners and stuff like that. But I think first point's a lot more set with its game plans structure.
Saucy now with the blade, just trying to lead this one in. Shockwave goes down so early, and Saucy, one slash. I don't even think he meant to go for 2 targets then, but still, he found them. And the Atlanta Reign with a clean team wipe means that they will not let the Vancouver Titans push that all the way in.
He's playing into a Mei that can freeze him up, so that makes things a lot more difficult. Look at them all caught by the Mei wall.
Yep, blocked up into the corner, but they need to get a kill off the back of it. The Immortality Field is perfect, actually, from Rolf. Keeps him alive. The Amp Matrix just on the corner here is going to be doing so much damage. Karkar falls down immediately. Saucy now with the icicles. Just needs to rain them down from above like a little sky devil. And it's going to be enough. The beat down from Saucy once more will mean that there's only a couple of players remaining, but more than enough bodies to cover at this point.
Great idea with the Mei, and you can see how well it worked for them.
And they're rolling it forward here. They've got the rally and so much armor, so much health as well to work with. I mean, you just got to feel sorry for the Vancouver Titans, because Saucy again dashing through them, putting in a lot of work. The payload will start to slowly approach its final objective, edging so close. Can anyone even touch this one? Shockwave moving over to the Widowmaker, but he's going to have to try and get a body onto the point. They get halted back in the Atlanta Reign. He'll be taking map number 2.
Anubis is a weird map. Like, it's you can easily get snowballed, but you can also easily get first held. So it's just like, it's just really important that you pick the right comps, especially on attack, and or you pick the right comps on defense, but then like be aware of how you need to play into their comp. So in the match we played like a bunker comp on defense, and they played like a dive, some kind of like a Zarya or monkey dive or something like that. So we made the adjustment. We kind of swapped where we started the fight. We are aware that we are gonna like make sure we like check all the flanks, and we're gonna hard punish any kind of engage they had, and that worked out pretty well. They weren't like the most like practice dive team, so I feel like it was pretty easier than it would have been against other teams, but I think we did a good job of that. And then we just made sure we were all on the same page of just like setting bait, and making sure we had like the right ult plays for theirs.
아누비스 같은 맵은 이제 2CP 맵이기도 하니까 그냥 기본적으로 이제 공격하기가 힘들다는 거, 뭐 들어가기 힘들고 이제 다이브를 하더라도 상대 자리가 좋기 때문에.
For Anubis, I guess our biggest obstacles is things like first point, where like I know I'm talking about first point a lot, like I did on Numbani, but a lot of these different, especially in 2CP, a lot of it matters with like having good game plans and making sure that you can have like set strategies for taking the points, because it's so set in stone. You have to get a good strategy and good game plan. That's our biggest obstacle is getting better game plans each time we play those maps.
I mean, I think they are going to edge this out. I mean, the Gravitic Flux still connects onto 3 of them. The hack, though. Okay, Hawk still got it off, managed to get the damage off initially onto Rolf. They're trying to turn it around. Saucy comes in with the blade, and they have turned it around. Save with the grab, going to be using it to connect onto the tanks to fortify to move out of it, but KSA obliterated, taken out of the fight. Edison from on the high ground will do his job. Raining down damage, raining down the bullets. The Atlanta Reign are not going to be denied. They will move forward in the Kananka. Well, not quite, but they're going to be making it much easier for them to do so here. Saucy with a bit of, well, not even going to go there. Done, putting himself in the danger zone. The whole moves him forward. Edison just playing around his team, just this mobile depth unit, as he's just hitting shot after shot after shot. And now it didn't end up meaning anything with Saucy wasting the blade. The Atlanta Reign are going to roll forwards with this one, the Supercharger, paving their way to victory as they take the series out in a 3-0 fashion.
Yeah, I think the difference in mentality between preparing for Vancouver and Florida is a pretty big change. After we beat, Vancouver, we're looking at the next game already. So, yeah, just right after that game, I think we were shifting mentality, shifting our strategies and stuff like that. So we had, a full day to prepare for them.
쟁탈 맵, 저희는 이제 쟁탈 맵에선 원래 저희가 쓰는 조합이 있었는데 플로리다를 상대로 이제 조합을 바꿔서 나갔었고, 그리고 이후에는 약간 본대 싸움, 상대 겐지 말고도 이제 본대 싸움을 하려고 했는데
We didn't change too much against them. Actually, we'd scrimmed them the week prior, like 2 to 3 times, and that was the team we had the hardest time with because of their play style. I feel like pretty like countered our natural play style. They just like to play their that Zen bat poke, and we had struggled with that in the past. So we tried to make a couple different changes to what we wanted to do. They had some creative rollouts which kind of punished us on a couple different Koth maps, but I felt like we knew that was going to be a hard matchup. We're actually hoping we were going to get picked by one of the other teams because we actually did really think we had a better chance of beating the other teams, or actually a very, very good chance. And we knew that was going to be our hardest matchup, so we try to make like some different not cheese plays, but like just different little strategy plays here and there to mix it up on them, because they knew what we played, and we knew what they played. At the end of the day, I guess I feel like their comp and strategy, not strategy, but like their play style just definitely punished ours.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, and he still has to worry about the Reaper as well. Even with that damage reduction, the Winston is still at great risk of being chucked down by the Hellfire shotguns. But Gator plays it fairly safe and sticks to Chris. Gangnam can't keep him alive with the Coalescence. Gator now has Primal Rage. The point was just capped here by Atlanta now, so they are now on the board. Gonna go for the blade. Has to reflect awfully early into that channel though, and BKB still taken down by Edison though. So bear in mind, Atlanta are still in charge. They're not gonna lose the point here. And any stagger is just extra percentage gain for them.
And it looked like Gargoyle thought Saucy was going to come in a little bit deeper and try and make Saucy takes out Gargoyle towards the end. There's the, I told you, it's instant death almost with the Death Blossom as Saucy pulls out a blade, gets one. That's probably good enough here. So it just looks like a few players from Florida just trying to get on, contest, just juggle the point here. This won't be enough to flip it though.
The biggest challenge for Ilios is the fact that we weren't maybe that great on the map coming into that match, so the biggest thing was improving at it during the week, and I think we improved pretty well during the week and could have won that map versus Florida Mayhem. But unfortunately, we had a few mistakes and we got counter-comped on one of the maps, so a lot of it was just preparing for Florida Mayhem specifically, maybe not for other teams. And the comps we ran kind of shown to do that.
일리오스 맵에서는 아마 맵이 뭐 긴 맵도 있고 좁은 맵도 있지만은 대부분 이제 상대가 약간 잘 보이는, 서로서로 잘 볼 수 있는 맵이기 때문에 그런 거에 대해서 이제 벽을 잘 끼고 팀원들이랑 같이 움직이는 그런 플레이가 아마 제일 괜찮은 것 같습니다.
Well's a weird map because you have to worry about the pit in the middle. Mayhem chose to run like a rush comp, so we did more of like we did a dive comp as well, but ours consisted of really just setting up flanks and setting up bait for them to walk through. Because we played the Anna Brig and they played the Lucio Mora. We messed up. I remember we messed up first fight pretty bad. We weren't on the same page there. We thought we were gonna drop and push them, but instead. So then the rest of the round we really just set up good plays, good old plays, good flanks, good engages, get out. So that round did well for us. But I think Ruins is like a weird map to where that's a really good Widow map. And I know we had scrimmed them in the past. We know that we kind of knew that they didn't favor didn't really favor Widow there, like most of the whole season. So we didn't expect them to play Widow there. So we were expecting them to play like their rush dive, which should have like worked well into our Widow dive. But they rolled out like double shield. We messed up our rollout, and then at the end of the day, we kind of just got punished the rest of the round for really messing up the first fight that badly. So I think Ilios overall is like a really you really just need to make sure that you have like the right just like teamwork and idea of how you need to play the map. And then like Lighthouse is like the same. There's this high grounds on each side. That was a really close map too, I remember. I know that was a really interesting. There's a lot of like baiting and a lot of there's a lot of dive mirror. I think Alias as a whole, it's just like it's a really good dive map in general, and it's a really good like a counter pick map. Like you have to make sure that you're in the right comp and you're playing your comp correctly. That's just kind of what I get out of Ilios a lot in the past week.
And here comes the blade. He's looking for it now. Gargoyle goes down. He's ended up finished off by his own hypersphere damage, but most of it came from the blade, in fairness. Saucy gets rid of Fate now. What a deflect on the Gangnam Jin. Gangnam Jin's proclivity for using his primary fire getting used against him there. The immortality field in play, keeping the rain up.
Yeah, and the flux comes in from Gargoyle, and they are not able to contest, so you use some ultimates there for the Florida Mayhem, and you're not even able to contest the point, so that goes as well as it possibly could have.
Supercharger gets thrown out. Bob got knocked back up the slope here, so the Mayhem are actually able to break line of sight from Bob pretty easily, and still, they lose 3 at the start of the fight. Amplification Matrix got thrown up, but the Mayhem couldn't really use it. They were behind the 8 ball, and my God, it started well for the Mayhem.
Okay, for Kings Row against the Florida Mayhem, I like to focus on a lot of positional things, where I'm going to be, where I want our team's fights to be, and stuff like that, where I can get most value with our team comp and stuff like that. Because we ran a Brigitte Baptiste comp, so I'm always thinking about where to, put my windows, put my lamps and stuff like that, and maximizing my value out of my heals and damage output.
In particular, we generally favor, at least as of late, we've favored some kind of rush comps, which is whether it's Ryan like Lucio Mora, or and what we played in the match was like a it was like a Brig Arissa Sig like brawl kinda. Like you're really playing aggressive and you're trying to force brawls in good spots against their poke comp. As a whole, I do think the poke comp might have been stronger there. I think most teams were playing that at the time. I think if you can set up good engages and you can get good good flanks and good engages off it, the rush comp can work. But Mayhem did a really good interesting strategy to where they would set like a Widow in their spawn on their first attack, for instance, where and that Widow just AFKing there in their spawn, and he's making sure that no one on the other enemy team can call or set up a dive, which then made their bait play work much better. So Kings Row was just a lot, the whole map was just us trying to get good engages and get good rush plays off, and it was pretty much them just baiting and trying to make sure we didn't get good rush plays off, and they're checking the flanks, doing all their thing, because we've played against the Zen most of the week in that map, and then they've played against the Brig most of the week, obviously, in their scrims. So it was an interesting matchup. Obviously we fell short, but I think we did the Zen in the attack and it worked better. So probably was just a better pick overall, honestly.
Okay, Edison drops down.
Is it good enough though?
So far, not so shabby. Edison, no! Well, yeah, that happens. The peak from Gargoyle, Hyperspheres, Yaki cleans up Hawk, and so many shields. How do you get through them all? Gator is trying to swim upriver, but Saucy drops in, charged up and ready to rumble.
Who would have expected they brought in Saucy to play the Symmetra here? To stay and play it, and the BQB looked like threw the dynamite at his feet together and let him just kind of dice on through 1 or 2 players.
All right, well, the Hulk was there. Saucy now going to try and come in with Oh!
No, you see right there, Gangnam Jin takes a shot from Edison.
So messy. So messy. Okay, well, player up, the Florida Mayhem. Okay, it's only 2v3 now, so Yaki, realize
Yaki's just going to kill everybody.
He can solo this. He has deflect now. Hawk might get the better of him.
At halftime versus the Florida, I think it was just, I don't know, it was kind of like a recoup and, think about everything that we could do differently in the next map on Hanamura. Try to make some adjustments, try to talk about our game plans that we can, do better and stuff like that. And that's all we really did at the halftime, honestly.
So going into the map, halftime, we had talked about a few things we were going to swap up. We weren't getting blown out or anything. The first 2 maps are pretty close. There's a 2-1 Koth, and then I don't know, we both capped Kings Row. So we didn't want to swap up too much. We just thought maybe we could play a little bit better as a team, and if we get our communication going better and set better engages, we could probably reverse sweep them. But Hanamura, being Hanamura, was a good poke map. It was good for the Zen. So we tried like a little like Sebastian strat. We had been cooking up. So we did that on the attack. It worked pretty well. We ended up swapping. We ended up capping with a little bit of time. And then the defense, pretty much our rush comp is probably just bad there in general. It was just hard to make it work into that Zen there. We weren't able to set up like our engage on them with their poke hub. So then they just pretty much doubled the map off like a good first point. So I guess going into like the second, like the last round, like they had a big time bank. It's gonna be hard to hold. Like we're not delusional. We're just realists. There's a lot of time in the bank. In order to win that, maybe we had to do some kind of like weird cheese. I don't know, something. It would have been hard to hold that playing regular. So we just played like some kind of rush cop. Maybe cop like a quick team wipe in the spawn, and then you could just hope then you'll be up on ults. So it's pretty much like the East Coast specials. We just pulled out like a spawn door. Like it wasn't meant to spawn door like camp and just sit there and die. It was just to get like a quick team wipe, and then back up. And then since you wipe them, you'd be up on ults, and then you can have ults for your second fight. At that point, you're ripping off like 2-3 minutes off the clock, and then they'll have like 1 to 2 minutes to get their actual like playoff, but it's still gonna give you a better chance. At least we thought. So that was pretty much our like little East Coast special we did at the ending. Didn't kind of worked, but it didn't. It was like it kind of worked, but like they found a couple picks, so they ended up rolling to the point and we lost overall. But
My sights are focused on getting individually better, but I think as a team we're focused on trying to get better with our synergy and trying to get better as a team with our just general, gameplay and making sure it can sync up.
일단 제 개인적인 생각은 남은 시즌 동안 일단 최대한 이제 성적을 낼 수 있는 만큼 제일 내고 싶은 거 될 수 있으면 이제 플레이오프에서 제일 1, 2등 안으로 들어가는 게
prepping for playoffs. I know we're just really trying to work on our team communication. I think that's been one of our biggest things this year that's held us back. So if we get our communication going, we get everyone talking, get everyone going on the same page. As long as we start clicking by playoffs, I think we'll be good to go. We're also trying to expand. Just make sure we're good at like all the different kind of comps, because there's really no telling what's gonna be the meta come playoffs. So we're just trying to make sure we're polished on everything. That's really it.
Hey guys, thank you for watching the video. We hope you like it. Make sure to give it a thumbs, and we'll see you next week.